And welcome to Messages from an Angel. Today we have an amazing show. We have a beautiful medicine woman on with us, and she's going to be talking to us about shamanism and energy work, and she's very special. So stay tuned. We're going to be back after these messages.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hi, and we're back with Messages from an Angel, and we're here with Marli Joy Fromowitz. Now, Marli Joy is very special to me. When I started my journey, I was drawn to certain people, and Marli was one of those people. And to this day, I still say that you're the one who blew everything right wide open. I feel like you're one of the reasons I'm here today. So tell our, so hi, I'm so happy you're here. So Marli, tell us a little bit about you and who you are and what you do and how you started your journey.
Oh, wow. That's a big question.
I know, it is.
It
right?
is.
It is.
It
Okay,
is.
so let's start from the start. What was the first thing that got you into this journey, or what brought you here?
I think I was born into this journey. It began as a child. I had visitations. I was aware of things, but I didn't have a voice for it. I didn't understand what was happening. So what really brought me out, what allowed me to walk it fully, was I was guided to take Reiki. And it was through the Reiki I woke up and I remembered who I am.
Now, what is Reiki?
It's a modality of hands-on healing, as well as what it really is about is our awakening within. So it's not just about hands-on healing, it's about our inner growth. If we are given the opportunity to learn Reiki, the light, the fire within is reignited. And for me, it was a gift. I was taught through that. I was taught how to walk my truth, how to be whole once again.
And what's really interesting with you is, you know, in society, there are many Reiki practitioners, right? People who are learning Reiki and become Reiki masters. But you're very special in the way that you trained in your journey, because you actually went to Japan, because this is a Japanese.
No, not actually.
I thought you did.
No, I lived in Hong Kong at
the
the
time.
time.
Hong Kong. Okay, in Hong Kong.
And when I was guided to take Reiki, I was told to learn it from a particular teacher who came from Australia.
Okay.
But as it happened, I walked into my naturopath's office, and the woman who was running the office at the time treated me like an old friend. I didn't know who she was. And I told her that I was going to take Reiki. And once I did that, she said, and she asked me who I was going to take it with. And I told her, and she said, oh, no, you must take it with Barbara McGregor. She's far more spiritual. And I tend to follow and walk upon the yellow brick road as it's laid out for me. So I registered for the class. And I took my class with Barbara when she arrived in Hong Kong. She would teach it in Hong Kong about twice a year.
Nice.
And I was amongst 54 other people for this class.
Wow, it was 54 people in the class? That's a big class.
She was an incredible teacher. She could hold a class. It was incredible. And it was from a Friday evening until Sunday night. Of course, we went home at nighttime. And the first level of Reiki, I knew I was in the right place. I'd been having visions for several years that were very profound in my life. I had no one to talk to about it in Hong Kong. And when I sat in this room, this very large room with 55 other people, or 54 other people, I heard the few people speaking who had experiences. And I thought, I'm in the right place. So at that point, I just did the Reiki. I walked from that class knowing, trusting in my heart of hearts, I had learned what was important for me to learn. And I practiced Reiki on myself and my family. I Reiki'd myself every single day for 3 months, because you had to wait 3 months to take the second level. You needed time to integrate the energy.
And that's really important, because I remember I did my Reiki with you, my first level, and I was I think for me, I think I can use the word impatient, eager, maybe even a little arrogant, and you were good. You were just like, no, this is what you need to do, because you were very about these things need to integrate. These things you need to be in the right place in order to go to the next level, not only for you, but to serve others, because that is what you're going to do. And I was so grateful at the end of it. And you've always been a wonderful guide that way. But the first level is very much about ourselves. Yes?
It's about learning how to do hands-on healing for others. But really, the most important is the hands-on healing one does for themselves. It's our transformation, the beginning of our healing.
And that first year is incredible too. Like it really opens you up, because I remember you saying that to me. I remember you saying that, this is going to put you on your destiny. This is going to really show you who you are in your authentic self. And then when we did the second level, that was more about finding ourselves for others and connecting to others. And that was a very interesting journey in itself.
Right. Well, level 1 is about connecting to others as well, but level 2 tends to open our intuitive abilities. We really, in that class, I tend to help people to acknowledge and accept that we are all intuitive. And many people have difficulty with that. They're afraid that it's not real.
Yes.
It's in this class that I help people understand, yes, it is, because they get feedback. And it really helps that way. Yeah,
for sure. And it's a beautiful thing to learn too, because the energies that move through you are so amazing. And when you're working with other people, you, as you always taught, is when you're healing others, you're receiving that healing as well. So you're consistently doing that. So what drew you to Reiki?
Oh, that's a good one. About 3 years previous to taking Reiki, I had come home to Toronto for the summer, and I got together with old friends. And one of the girls that I had known since I was 6 months old walked in and said she had a headache. And I said, well, lay down on the floor. And I put my hands on her, not knowing what I was doing, yet feeling I knew what I was doing. And when we finished, I said to her, you know what I'd like to be? As if I was a child, right? I was in my mid-30s.
That's what I want to do when I grow up.
And I said to her, I'd like to be a healer. And then I went, where did that come from? Yeah, exactly. And I let it go. And as it turned out, a couple years later, I gave birth to my youngest of my 3 children. And in that hospital that morning, there was another woman giving birth. I was in a very small hospital on the top of Mount Kellet in Hong Kong.
Nice.
And I bumped into a woman with an infant about 3 months later. And I said to her, when was your baby born? And it turned out it was her who had given birth to this little girl. And so we kept bumping into each other all over Hong Kong. And she said, I think we're meant to spend some time together. And she introduced me to Reiki.
Wow.
And like I said, the yellow brick road opened before me.
Everything comes together. A lot of people call those synchronicities.
Yes.
Right. And when those synchronicities happen, we have to be open to receiving them. And I find that a lot of people who are meant to be on that path of energy are very, very good at doing that. Oh, there was a question I was going to ask you about children and Reiki. Oh, yes, right. So now when you started working with Reiki, you had children already.
Yes.
So now when you had your children, were they a part of you? Did they become a part of your process?
In what way?
In the sense of, did you give them their attunements, and did you work with them? Did you help them understand that this is a way of life? Because it's not just a modality, it's a way of life. It's a way of living. So did they become a part of that way of living in the sense of understanding?
Before I answered that, I think the most important part is, what does it mean it's a part of how we live?
I'm sorry, it's what?
What does it mean that it's a part of how we live?
Yes.
It means it's a part of how we live because we become aware of our inner truths. And it's about walking our truth every day, being able to speak in love through the heart, our truth to others, to ourselves. Rather than living a lie and trying to please others, we honor the truth of our own beings.
And that's something I think society is only starting now to become aware of, that we do lie to ourselves a lot. It's like I say to a lot of my clients, I say, one of the examples I give is, we say to ourselves, oh, I'm so hungry. And what do? We go, I'll eat later. No, our truth, that simple little truth of I need to eat now, can lead you to so many other things.
Right.
We don't even realize.
Or I'm hungry, I'll eat junk, rather than stopping and feeling what is it my body requires. I really want?
Yeah. Yes. Like, it's very funny you say that. Just yesterday I was driving along and I thought, you know what, I'm going to stop and I'm going to grab a chocolate bar. And I thought, why do I need a chocolate bar? What is it that I really need? It's not really the chocolate bar that I need, right? And then I realized the word comfort came up. And I'm like, oh, I need comfort. Okay.
And that's what it is. It's about learning to listen to ourselves. Our bodies have all the wisdom. Yeah. And it's about allowing our bodies to speak through us.
Yes. And really listening. Like that sense of listening. And then people ask, what is listening? And it's such a simple thing. What is my truth in that moment? Right. What is it that I feel? What do I desire? What do I need? What do I feel? What do I desire?
And it's a process to learn how we can feel and hear our truths. It's a process. It's not something that happened overnight. No. I had to figure it out.
Yes. And that's the journey in itself, right? And I think that is a really important journey that all of us, I think, take at one point in our lives or another.
Well, actually, it's a lifelong journey.
Yes. Okay, that's a fair enough statement.
Yes.
But I think walking it in awareness, you walk it and then you just get to a point, it's like, oh, okay. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we come back.
Okay, perfect.
We'll be back with messages from an angel.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West. Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. the Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
And we're back with messages from an angel, and our guest, Marli Joy Fromowitz, who is a beautiful medicine woman who I've learned so much from. And you were talking earlier about an instance where you were lying someone down on the floor and using your hands. And I remember when I was in your class and you were telling that particular story, and I thought, oh my God, I've done that. My mom actually had cancer, and she was in the hospital room, and she was alone. And I'd never picked up a book. I'd never seen anything. Like, this wasn't even registering on my plate to be an energy worker, psychic, whatever. And I remember everybody was away, and I remember seeing the area they had operated on and thinking, they've missed something. They've missed something. And I remember placing my hands in a certain way. And then when I was with you, you were talking about something called etheric surgery. Mm-hmm. And when you were talking about it, I went, oh my God, I've done that. And you are the person who started to kind of give me the definitions, kind of give me that idea of this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm doing. So a lot of people out there instinctually know what instinctually do without the labels. And as human beings, we like those labels. We like to put things in categories. And I find that when we start to learn and we become aware, then the teachers start to appear. Mm-hmm. And it's so beautiful. And we were talking about children as well. And, sometimes the teachers that the children have are right within the family, And so tell me about your kids, because I love your kids. They're incredible people.
Oh, okay. Well, they are.
They are.
I have to say. I'm very, very happy.
Proud mama.
Yeah, I'm very proud of them. They're wonderful people, all three of them.
And they were a part of that journey,
yes,
right?
Yes. Yeah. So after I did level 1 Reiki, and I had those 3 months of intensive growth, before I did level 2, I put my hands on, my youngest one was under a year. So he was Reiki'd constantly, constantly, and he just loved it. And the other 2 were, at that time, 10 and 14. And I Reiki'd them whenever they had a problem, stomach ache, anything. And my husband, I Reiki'd him, and I saw miracles happen with him. Yeah. Then I did after I did level 2 next, 3 months after level 1, when my teacher arrived back in Hong Kong. And I went through a ginormous transformation.
I love that word, ginormous. That is one of my favorite words. I'm sorry, I digress. Go on.
Okay. And so I went through what's called a samadhi. Yeah. A homecoming. I remembered who I was, not Marli Joy, but my spirit, my soul.
The essence of who you are.
So I became one with everything for a period of time, and my life went through total transformation. And that's when I learned that I had to learn how to walk my truth. There was no alternative. There was no turning back anymore. Yeah. After I did level 2, sometime afterwards, my oldest daughter, my only daughter, my eldest, who's a daughter, and my son Jesse, they both took Reiki. So Rebecca was 14, Jesse was 10, and they took Reiki with a bigger class than I had, which was really incredible. They sat through it. And till this day, they use the Reiki. They are totally intuitive beings. I'm sure they always were, but this gave them permission. Together, they've had experiences when they were younger after they did Reiki where they themselves could see the same spirit in the room, which was really incredible. Yeah. And the little one, a child cannot take Reiki until they're 7 years old.
And why is that?
A child up to 7 they're born with this ability. Yes. And so children around 7, it tends to close off.
And this is something we've actually talked about on our show. From 0 to 7, kids are wide open. Right. And then they start to society takes over, so to speak. Go to school, you start to integrate, you start to, Yeah.
And then my youngest one, when he turned 7, I said, I'm going to attune you to Reiki for your birthday. Mm-hmm. And his answer was, that's okay, as long as I also get a present. I thought that was terrific.
I love that. Yeah. He's got a good head on his shoulder.
Yeah, not too bad.
I remember when I'm sorry, I do, because I remember this. Joseph came to me one day and he says, "Mommy," I said, "What?" And he goes, "I know what karma is." I said, You do? And he couldn't have been more like 4 or 5 years old. And I said, tell me what karma is. And he goes, well, he said, when you do bad things happen. When you do good things, you get presents. And I'm like, out of the mouths of babes. Anyway, again, I digress.
Yeah.
So your son and your children have been attuned. And because of that, now, are these kids, I've heard this term before, they're Reiki children.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, the Reiki children, especially ones who are still in the womb being Reiki'd.
I've Reiki'd infants as they've come out. I've held infants.
Now, I have a question. Can someone be Reiki'd while they are pregnant, or get their Reiki attunements while they are pregnant?
Yes, I've had students who were pregnant.
That's so cool.
And the attunements, like Divine Source knows that this person is pregnant. There's no doubt about it. But I also step back and I ask that the attunement be for the best and highest good, not only for the woman or the woman that's pregnant, not the man, because she can't be pregnant.
We're not quite there yet.
and the unborn child.
Yeah.
So that no ego is in that. It's very important in all that we do. When we offer Reiki, when I do the attunements in a class, my ego is not involved.
Yeah.
That I step back and I offer myself to Divine Source and allow the blessings to flow through rather than it be me.
Yes, because we are channels, right?
That's
We're just the channels.
That's
the energy
correct.
flows through us.
Yeah.
And that's something I think people need to understand too, because a lot of people will come to energy workers expecting them to fix or have the solutions, not realizing that's really, it's not us.
No.
You know, we're here as, you know, for a very vague term, but a mouthpiece. We are just there to hold that energy and to allow that energy to flow. And then whatever works for that particular person is what works. And that's, I think, the thing I love about Reiki is that I'm not in control. You know, and everybody who knows me knows that I'm a bit of a control freak. But with Reiki, when I'm in that space, I can let go, and the energy just moves, and spirit moves through, and you can feel that flow. You can feel that beautiful energy.
One of the gifts of doing Reiki a lot and working with others with Reiki is that we actually learn that if we do let go of what we think is control, the Divine Source, or however we want to call it, actually guides us and creates for us what it is that is for our best. Yeah. Even in hardship brings us out on the other side of blessing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you know, I truly believe that, you know, a spirit had told me once, there's no such thing as a problem in life, only opportunities to learn and grow.
Absolutely.
And this is something that I try my best to live by. Now, you are also considered, in my eyes, and we've talked about this before, one of the grandmothers of Reiki. And this is one of the reasons I'm so excited to have her here, because you really brought some of the purest forms of Reiki here to Canada for us. And for that, I am so grateful. And I'm so grateful to have found you as well. What is that like, knowing that you're one of those pioneers?
It's mostly because I've been doing it so long and I'm so old.
You're so old. You are so not.
I kind of
See,
am.
energy also keeps you beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. This is just, you know, a perfect example.
It's very funny you should say that. I received an email just 2 days ago from one of my students. And she said she had gone to some, I don't know what it would have been, alternative thing where people come and there's people there that sell things. And she said, we heard a lot of talk about Reiki. And it became clear to us that most people don't bring the same integrity into their teachings. And she thanked me for being her teacher. And I sat back and thought, wow, that's so beautiful. That meant so much to me, but it's so true. So many people come to me after taking classes, and they take my class. Not that I'm any better than anybody, but I teach over a 3-day period. And I bring
pure form.
Yeah, and I bring forth the teachings that were brought by Hiwa Takata to North America, which have been brought all around the world since. Plus, I bring forth a lot of the wisdom that's come to me over the years, and a lot of the esoteric teachings that have come through me over the last I've been doing Reiki now it'll be 28 years in January.
Wow,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So now, before we go to our next break, tell me, what is your favorite thing about Reiki? What is it that really lights your heart about it?
The blessing that I can be of service to others. That's my greatest gift.
Answer. That's a good answer, I think. Don't you?
Thank you.
But it is true, right? Because the reality is this is what our work is about. It is how do we serve. And when somebody says that to me, the person that always comes to my head is Gandhi. Because he always said that it's about serving others. You know, he was a very prominent figure even before he was the man that we knew. He was a prominent lawyer. And whenever he had someone to his home, he would always be the one to serve them tea. It was always him, because he believed that he was in service to them. They were in his home, they were helping, but he was in service to them. And that's something that I think that teaching is very profound in Reiki. That it's about all of us. It's about unity and how can I serve you? And those blessings that we give are not just the blessings, and this is something people need to understand, not just blessings to that one person. When we put out that energy, it affects the earth. It affects every molecule of everything that we affect, that we connect to. You know, and I think that's the thing. Like, I see a lot of energy workers, a lot of people, and they will say to me, you know, I want to do more with my life. I want to do so much. I'm like, well, what are you doing today?
Right.
What are you doing in this moment for that person in front of you?
But I have that. Everybody comes to me and says, I want to do more. What's my path?
Yeah.
Where you are in this moment is your path.
It's so important.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that, because our path then allows us to evolve into the next phase of who we are. And I'm really excited to talk to you about the new phases that Reiki has brought you to in your journey. When we come back, join us on Messages from an Angel.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hi, we're back with Messages from an Angel. You know, Reiki is a wonderful modality. All energy work is, but it's not the end product. You know, you start somewhere and you start to realize that you're evolving and you're evolving. And it's not that you step away from a modality or that you don't want to do it anymore. When you evolve, all of a sudden you need to nurture other things. And this is part of the process I believe you went through, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about where Reiki led you to, because that's exciting.
Okay, so when I first began Reiki, I practiced it in a form, it was traditional. But what happened was, after I did level 2 and I had what is called my samadhi, my homecoming, I knew that it was bigger than I could even perceive. So I went to the woman who had guided me to my particular teacher, and I said to her, I don't know what to do with this. And so she laid me on her table, and she did what I call hocus pocus. Basically, she worked on my auric field more than on my physical body. And when she finished, she came to me and said, you can do exactly what I am doing. So it gave me permission to be able to work outside of the box.
Doesn't it though?
Yes.
When somebody turns around and says, you know what, it's okay. That's all you need is it's okay to move you forward.
So when I teach Reiki, I always teach the traditional hand positions, but I also tell people there will come a time when you are going to feel where you need to put your hands. It doesn't have to be in a form that is written in a book.
I remember when I took my first class with you that I was doing the traditional stuff, and all of a sudden my hands went, and you said, don't run before you can walk. And I remember you pulling back going, just learn the technique first, and then you can move forward because you need a foundation, right? And I was always trying to move ahead too fast. And we're actually talking a little bit about that in the break as well. But yeah, it does. It evolves into something else because then you begin to feel it, right? Your hands begin to almost move by themselves. It's an amazing
Your body,
experience.
you just can feel, or you can get an image of where you need to go next, and you can feel how long you need to be in a position. And
it becomes a full body experience, really, for everybody involved.
It is. It totally is. And it's really important that you experience Reiki on your own self as well, so you get to understand how another person is experiencing what you're doing for them. But as far as growth goes, I allowed myself from that moment on to grow from the inside out. And I allowed myself to work with the Reiki energy, but not necessarily in the traditional method.
Right.
And over the years, I've had inner learnings that have come through me. Awakenings, guidance, a lot of guidance. Most of my teachers have not been of this planet.
And my viewers understand what that means, because we talk about that, right? We have mentors who are here, and then we have teachers. A lot of energy workers have teachers who are not of this plane, right? We have spirit walkers who walk with us.
That's correct. Yeah. So all the insights and the learnings that I was taught over and over again, it's always a little step at a time, new awakenings, new awarenesses that have brought me to a place where the work is so profound. I'm in awe. I'm in such deep learning at the moment. I'm just in awe of what's coming, and I have no words for it.
And it's amazing because just recently when I called you and I said, I'd love you to be on my show, and have you said, well, now you've got to come and experience what I do now to really understand it so that we can talk about it. And I left there. We had done ceremony. She did a beautiful ceremony with me. And I left there feeling like I was whole and I was a part of this huge universe. I was small and big at the same time. And I thought, I don't really understand it, but I feel it, right? And how do you talk about what you truly feel? And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm just going to allow this interview to really evolve, because if I even tried to encompass that experience that I had, I wouldn't even begin to do it justice.
Right.
I wouldn't even begin, because it was so profound. And what was really amazing is that a lot of times with healing work, it takes a few weeks. Like it'll take 1 or 2 weeks to really start to integrate, for you to see things happen. The next day, and that's partly the person themselves. I was ready to release, and so the next day, all of a sudden, things started to blow wide open. Situations in my life, and I wasn't looking for them, and they would just come up, and you're going, "Oh my God, that's from the ceremony. That came from that healing," and because you can see it. It's such a profound effect that it has on your life, on your physical life. It's like magic. It truly is magic.
Yes.
If people want to know if magic exists, work with a person who really is profoundly connected and loves the work they do. Tell us a little bit about the work you're doing now.
Right. So the work I'm doing, I either work with someone on the table, or I work with someone sitting across from me on the floor. On the floor, it's called ceremonial healing. But I've taken that ceremony, and now when I'm working with someone on the table, I do the ceremony as we begin that work, as
Yeah.
the person's on the table. Whereas at one point I did not have the guts to do that.
And it's true, because we have to grow into that courage,
That's right.
And I've talked about that with my viewers. It takes a lot of courage for us to step into these realms, because we don't know what to expect, and we don't want to hurt anybody.
Like just
Right?
the sound work,
Yeah.
the guts it took for me to be able to do the sound work through the body in the beginning, because I never thought I had an amazing voice, and it's not amazing for English. But when I do sound in a person's body, it's like I'm getting the messages back from the body, and I'm being guided to make sounds that help shift and release and bring forth for the person's
We're
being.
vibrational,
Yes.
right? So when we work with vibration, we shift vibration, and we don't realize that the intangibles are so powerful.
Yes.
Right. And then we start to work with them, and that's how an energy worker really does gain confidence, is actually by doing.
Yep.
Because then we kind of see that, oh, look, this has happened, and this has worked, and the feedback that we get, and not just the feedback from the client, but the feedback from our own
Within,
spirit.
yes,
Right?
absolutely.
It's all about that.
Absolutely. So the work is, for me, it's experiential, because I'm being guided. Each time I work, it's completely different. It's my body movements, it's sound. I use singing bowls. I use sound for my own self. I hands-on. Sometimes I'm just standing there holding space.
Yes, and let them do the work.
And the energy, that this bubble of light, we're uplifted into the heart of all being. That's what happens. It's incredible. And sometimes I'm told, stand back, just hold the space, and the work is being done.
Yes.
And I'm always very, very, it's important. The ceremony itself is really about setting the space and the energy, calling in divine source, and bringing the person I'm working with to the same resonance as I am, and we go on this journey together.
Yeah.
And it's all done through divine source.
It is. It's amazing. And when I was doing ceremony for you, one of the things that truly struck me was that when you began to sing, not only was it a language, but you changed. Your voice changed. Your being changed. And my eyes were closed, but I could see you, and I could see it was you. And there were others there within you, not just around you, but working through you and within you. And it was exciting. It was an exciting experience that it makes you emotional, and you could feel the shaking and the vibrations shake in the places where I felt stuck. Like I could physically feel those shifts and changes. And that's an amazing experience to have with someone that really doesn't know, like, what I'm going through, but you don't, right? So here you are working, you really don't know what needs to be unblocked. You're trusting that you're doing the right thing. And I'm feeling all this stuff. And some people don't, okay? So understand that too,
Yes,
is
that's
some
true.
people don't necessarily feel what's going on in the space, but then they begin to experience it afterwards, right? They see the changes in their lives. Sometimes it's not about feeling it and going, oh my God, I saw a spirit, and oh my God, I felt this. It's not like that all the time. I've been through ceremonies where I'm like, okay, that was really nice. And then I am laid out on the floor within 3 days, because it blows you wide open. It's amazing. For each person, it is such an individual experience.
Yes.
And that's your expertise,
Right.
Is to find that individual experience for everyone.
That's right. And I don't find it. It comes through me.
Right.
My
allow
gift,
it.
my gift is that I'm blessed to be able to step back and allow it to come through. And that took years and years to be able to let go, to the point where I'm being able to let go at this point in my life.
Yeah. And it's a really beautiful experience. Like I am not where you are with the work, in the sense that I get snippets of that. And those little snippets of those moments where I'm letting go, the freedom, like you can feel your chest opening, you can feel everything just feels in place. Everything feels right. No matter what's going on around you, you create this bubble, like you said, of light around you. Yeah. And it's really nice when you can invite somebody else into that space with you. And that's what I say to a lot of my clients too, is thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey.
Oh yeah, it's
right?
amazing.
Because they're allowing us. Like, it takes a lot of courage for them to come to us.
They're
and to you as
trusting
well.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a huge way, even more so than I think they even realize, right? We'll talk a little bit more about this when we come back for our next segment, after these messages on Messages from an Angel. So we're back with Messages from an Angel, and we're here with Marli Joy from Fromowitz. Now, Marli Joy, where can people find you, or how would they connect to you if they feel the necessity for working with ceremony, and how would that work, that technical part of it?
It's best through my email.
Okay, and what is that?
marlijoy@mac.com.
marlijoy@mac.com. You guys can repeat that, so you guys can go back and you can write it down.
Right, except that Marli isn't written like, spelled like normal.
Okay, so tell us how it's spelled.
MarliJoy@mac.com.
Perfect. So marlijoy@mac.com. So if you feel that this resonates with you, feel free to email her. Let her know who you are, what work you want to do, and she will more than likely be happy to guide you and help you. If you want to know any more about our show, you can always go to mytcntv.com or mytcntv on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. These are our platforms to do our show on this web channel. And if you want to know more about me, Angel, you can go to raisingenergy.com, or you can go to my Instagram page at Raising Energy, and you can find out more about me there. So now, we've talked a lot about the modalities. We've talked a lot about the work that you do. What is it that you really want people to have from you? What is it that you want to give people?
Well,
or give community?
I would like to continue helping people to wake up. Not that, because we've been walking asleep, all of us.
What does that mean, to wake up? What does that mean?
It means to understand who we really are. So many of us have been walking around, living our day-to-day lives, caught up in the rush. It's a big rush right now. And we aren't given the time to sit and breathe, feel our beings, what's resonating within us. And when I teach classes, that's one of the things. I teach classes on spiritual mastery, helping people to aid them in their transformations. And that's what I've been feeling lately. It's about teaching. I used to teach classes that were one day a month over a period of maybe 8 or 9 months. And what I'd like, I think, to begin to offer is classes that are maybe over a 3-month period, once a month.
Yeah.
So it's not such a big commitment.
And also it helps to integrate. Again, it gives that space and time for things to. Now, if somebody has already had their Reiki attunements, can they redo those Reiki attunements? Like, let's say you resonate with them and like, oh man, I wish I had done my attunements with Marli.
Oh, absolutely. Like many people have come to me who've taken classes elsewhere. And often I'll have people who do classes with me come and help out in classes, sit in. It helps the energy rise. Yes. Rising energy.
Raising energy. Raising that energy, baby.
And what it does is it helps to also to hear things you may have missed in a class. You know, there's so much that comes through in a class. And
well, it's not only that, you always find something new. And no matter how many times you go to a class, like even as a psychic, if I go to work with another psychic or even sit for tea with a psychic, there's always something I'm taking away from it, right? Because I'm open to that.
There's always something to learn. I'm learning every single time I teach. I am learning.
Absolutely. I get so much from my audiences and from my students when I teach. I almost feel like it's unfair that I'm charging because I am a student as well. Do you know what I mean?
We're students every minute of the day.
Yeah, and people are becoming more and more aware that it's an exchange.
Yes.
Right? It's always an exchange.
Absolutely.
And it's an exciting exchange that we work with.
I'm
really, really happy that you came on our show today.
I'm very happy too.
So much.
You're welcome.
One of the things that I did want to cover before we end our show is animals. Animals and medicines, animals and shamanism, animals and ceremony, animals and Reiki. Now, with Reiki, we can work with animals.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And is it the same kind of Reiki? It's the same kind of...
Listen, they've actually made animal Reiki. To be honest, you don't... They're going to all hate me out there. You don't have to take animal Reiki to Reiki an animal. Reiki can be used on anything. One of the first animals I Reiki'd was a horse. And I know nothing about horses. And that female horse, she was beautiful. She stood for me for 2 hours in one place, not moving.
Yeah, it's about honoring what they need.
Right. And I had my hands on her leg the whole time. And I was told later, oh, you were supposed to beam the energy to her, and I had no idea. So it really shows you don't need to. And I was told that horse really did heal fast.
And that's it. Like, even when I go to do an animal communications, because I do work with horses as well, when I do an animal communications, an animal will tell me, you know what, I'm feeling this emotionally, or I'm feeling this pain in this particular area. And I will take those moments where I will add some Reiki to the communication. I will do healing work, because sometimes that's what I do, what I'm called to do, right? And because I have that modality at my hands, I usually work with it. But I was under the impression that, Reiki attunements were needed specifically for animals. So anybody out there who is a Reiki practitioner who's watching, and I know there are a few out there, you can work with animals with the attunements that you have. It's a really beautiful thing. Just honor them. Like, like if I have my cat, I may not use two hands. Sometimes I'll just use one. But again, you're feeling it. Feel what that animal needs. Because I had one dog who was such, excuse my French, but Reiki horror, that he just had to have all that. So it was two hands, and we'd sit there, and it was amazing.
Anytime you touch anything, the Reiki energy is constant. It becomes who we are.
Yes, plants.
Just touching you.
Yeah.
The Reiki flows through me.
And this is what I tell people too, right? It's like, I think one of the major things I've noticed is that a person who's not been attuned, if they're feeling ill, they go, oh, and they're Reikiing themselves. But when you have your attunement, it's just that much more energy that's moving through you at that time to help.
What is Reiki? It's the universal life force energy. It's nothing more or less than that. It's as you work with it, it becomes more powerful, because we become clearer and clearer, and the energy flows stronger and stronger.
And this is what I tell people. It's a muscle. Right? The more you use it, the stronger the muscle gets. And it's funny, because I've actually worked with Reiki in my garden. And one year I experimented. I had two gardens, and one I did Reiki, I did all this kind of stuff, and the other I just nurtured with love.
Yes.
What a huge difference. I am telling you, like, I'm not kidding. I mean, we had like peppers and things that were like huge. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, they're like Reiki steroid kind of thing. It was amazing. But it does. That energy, that is an amount of universal stuff that comes through that's just incredible, and what it can do. And you can experiment with it, right? Like, you can play with it.
You can do animals, plants. You can do no harm with Reiki. It's unconditional love. I thought that was really hokey when I first heard it, but I learned as I worked with people, I turn into pure love when I'm working. It awes me.
And it's so true. And it's really funny that you say that. I'm glad you actually said that. It's you can't hurt anybody with the energy. One, because it's pure energy, so it's going to give you what you need. But two, because of the intent.
Right. The intent is that we're always working in love for the best and highest good of the person, the plant,
but you're
the
doing
food,
that anyway, because you're going to do that, right?
And
that's you're doing that anyway. You're attuned to that intent of love,
right? But we also have to know that our intent always is for the best and highest good of others.
Sure. Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Now, that's an interesting thing that you said too, is that our food. We can actually Reiki our food. And I remember, I think it was you who said that you can even Reiki a refrigerator, because in the second attunement you get particular symbols and things like that. And you can Reiki your refrigerator, so when you place your food in the refrigerator, it clears it.
I didn't tell you that.
Was that not you?
No.
Okay, well, somebody did. I attribute all the good stuff to you. So when it comes to Reiki, it's always you.
It wasn't me. My son Reiki'd a television and fixed it.
Nice.
Yes.
I've done that with a computer.
Yes.
I actually did that with a computer. It was very frustrating to the person who had spent hours trying to work with it beforehand. I'm like, oh no, it's fine. And I've actually Reiki'd my car when my car has had problems. I've done that before. So Reiki can be used on so many different levels, because again, it's energy. And yes, it looks like magic, but really, what is magic but a transformation and a utilization of energy?
It's us co-creating with divine source.
Yes, that is the most beautiful. Co-creating with the divine source, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what we're doing with Reiki and with medicines and with shamanism and with any modality that is connected to the earth. Now, is there anything special that you do for yourself that maybe you can share with others, or anything you want to tell others that they can do to help them move forward with their own journey?
The gift that I've been learning recently is to remember to breathe. And we're not talking breathing into the chest. To stop, close your eyes, breathe all the way down into your belly, and allow that breath to breathe in, and then just let it go, and let your shoulders drop and go. And just breathe 3 times. Take 3 gentle, deep breaths. And remember what it is to breathe, because it helps us come home. Because we're broken into so many pieces.
We're busy. We're always busy. We busy ourselves. We distract ourselves. Yes,
so breath. The breath is the key to everything. When I use my breath when I'm doing my work, It's amazing how immense everything becomes.
The shaman in South America, the Peruvians, have always taught me that everything begins on a breath. We come into life on a breath, and everything ends on a breath, and everything in between, it's a breath.
That's right.
And with that, we're going to leave Marli Joy, and she's going to perhaps come back sometime.
Anytime.
Thank you so much for being
here.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
And thank you everyone out there who is watching.
You.
Again, you can find me at raisingenergy.com, mytcntv.com, Instagram, YouTube. We're all over the place. Come back. We will talk to you after these messages.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hi, and welcome back to Raising Energy, to Messages from an Angel. I am far too busy, people. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, Marli Joy, for being here. Thank you to our audience. Today was a day of working with universal energy and truly understanding the essence of what that means through Reiki, through shamanism, through the medicines. And next week, we hope you come back. Next week, we're going to have a day of call-ins. So join us if you want your free psychic reading. 647-931-4701. Join us next week on Messages from an Angel.